Okay, hello everyone. Today we're here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in the Cessna 152. We are here in Teterboro, Tango Echo Bravo, which is a payware airport by Flightbeam Studios. And we are flying to Teterboro. So we are doing something fun. We're going to use the special flight rules to fly the Hudson Exclusion Zone. We'll do a loop around the Statue of Liberty and come back to where we started. I'll walk you through the details of the special flight rules in the flight brief. So let's hop into the pilot seat and get started. Okay, as we get everything started up here in the Cessna, let's talk about the flight plan. So you will need the New York Terminal Area Chart, and you will need to get it from the FAA website, because if you get it from SkyVector, it will only show you the front side, and you will need the back side.
Check secure.
The Bravo airspace around New York City is a nightmare for VFR pilots to navigate, but you'll notice a call out for the Skyline route near the Hudson River. Part of the Hudson River has its own Bravo shelf that starts at 1,300 feet, and the Skyline route is the Bravo portion of that at 1,300 feet or above, and it has its own rules. But beneath that, you are not in Bravo airspace, but there are special flight rules for that portion of the Hudson River. The area beneath the Bravo is the Hudson River Exclusion, and it's broken up into the transient zone, which is from 1,000 feet to 1,300 feet, and the local zone, which is from surface to 1,000 feet. If you've flown in the Los Angeles area, there's a special flight rules transition where you can transit the Bravo just making CTAF calls and required reporting locations, and this is similar. There's a published CTAF frequency of 123.05, and pilots are required to report their position at the George Washington's Bridge, the Intrepid, the Colgate Clock, the Statue of Liberty, and the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. The north part of the zone starts at the Alpine Tower, which is an easy VFR waypoint. Southbound traffic needs to hug the west bank of the Hudson, and northbound traffic hugs the east bank. As long as you stay below 1,300 feet and over the Hudson, you don't need to talk to ATC. The East River has its own rules, and you do need ATC permission to use the special flight rules for the East River, because it's predominantly helicopters. The FAA has created an online training course specifically for the Hudson Exclusion. I took it, so it's short, it's like 10 minutes. It's got some slides and a narrator talking through the video. I'll put the link so that you can check it out. Our plan is to take off from Teterboro, which is a Class Delta airport that is underneath the Bravo. We'll need to stay below 1,300 feet until we clear the Bravo. We will fly north until we get the Oradell Reservoir in sight, and then we'll hug the reservoir, which will take us directly to the Alpine Tower. Once we're at the Alpine Tower, then we follow the west coast of the Hudson River and stick to the special VFR flight rules. When we return, we'll do the same thing in reverse. The Cessna 152 has no GPS, as you're aware, so this entire thing is going to be visual. I will dial in both the Teterboro VOR and the Kennedy VOR, because it never hurts to have nav aids if you need them, but we're not going to need them, so everything's got nice visual waypoints called out on the sectionals, and all we have to do is look for them. Teterboro ground, Cessna 359 Golf Charlie with information India, north ramp near Charlie, north departure, request taxi. Taxi runway 1 via Papa Lima Kilo, November 359 Golf Charlie. I have KPDX and KIAD by Flightbeam Studios, and the top two scenery designers, in my opinion, are Orbix and Flightbeam Studios, and I think Flightbeam Studios wins. They do such a fantastic job on airports, and at Teterboro in particular, if you're into general aviation, there's so much detail in this airport that it's awesome. Like, it's a steal. There are multiple ramps here for general aviation parking. I'm going to intentionally park at a different one when I come back to the airport, just so you could see a little bit more of the airport. Teterboro Tower, Cessna 359 Golf Charlie, holding short, runway 1. Quit for departure, runway 1. Maintain VFR at or below 1,100, Cessna 359 Golf Charlie. We're streaming live ATC in the background from liveatc.net. That's Teterboro Tower that we're listening to. I'm flying with the modded Cessna 152, which definitely helps with handling and performance, so be sure to get that if you like the 152. It's one of my favorite planes. I love these old school general aviation aircraft, and I especially like that it doesn't have an autopilot or GPS and it makes you fly. Rotate. Nice and smooth. This airport just looks fantastic. Alright, we've already got the reservoir up ahead to our right at the 1 o'clock position, so we're going to steer towards that. The tail of it actually points almost right towards the airport, so we'll use that as a visual indicator when we fly back. So we're going to hug the northwest side of the reservoir. It's going to curl around and point itself right in the direction of the Alpine Tower. And there it is. So now we've got it in sight. Can't miss it. I think that's just part of the base here for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I didn't install that as a mod. Alright, we'll turn, get ourselves set up here on the west bank of the Hudson, and enjoy the scenery. Alright, that was awesome. I had a lot of fun doing that, and I really felt like a VFR pilot because it was very visual. You had to look for your waypoints and follow them. It was actually hard to keep the altitude in that very narrow band of above 1,000 but below 1,300. It was fun learning about the special flight rules, and I actually enjoyed taking the online FAA course. A lot of the eye candy that you saw was freeware, so almost all of the bridges were installed from flightsim.to, so check out the links in the video description if you want to do this flight on your own and have all the same things that I did for it. So if you enjoy content like this, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, as always, for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.